Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Akash Gupta. Now, we've had two very exciting matches on Saturday, with Pakistan beating South Africa and Ireland just about managing to defend 331. But the one thing that Indian cricket fans all over are still talking about is India's unbeaten run in the World Cup with 4 wins in 4 matches. Joining us on the show today, Mr. Ian Chappell, live from Sydney, and VVS Lakshman joins us live from Mumbai. But before we get our experts into the show, let's take a look at the one man who is at the helm of affairs as far as Team India is concerned, and the one who has once again shown why he is the best man for one of the toughest jobs in India, MS Dhoni.
हर कोई बोलता है कि मुझे प्रेशर फील नहीं होता है, मुझे भी उतना ही प्रेशर फील होता है जितना सबको होता है. इट्स जस्ट दैट कि मैं उस सिचुएशन में काफी बार रह चुका हूं, तो मुझे पता है कि इससे कैसे बाहर निकला जा सकता है.
That has to be the most candid confession by the Indian captain in a long time. Magnificent. But it was his calm demeanour that everyone was once again talking about when his unbeaten 56-ball 45 took India to a win versus West Indies. Incredibly, in his last 9 ODI innings before this, Dhoni had only one 50-plus score.
He's been short of runs coming into this World Cup. Even in the opportunities he got, he didn't play the normal MS Dhoni style. But it's amazing how well he does in pressure situation, the way he absorbs the pressures and delivers.
The time he spent in the middle in the situation that the team found itself in, it was not easy when he came into bat. And for him to have taken the team to a win certainly will have boosted his confidence.
बैटिंग नंबर से ज़्यादा मेरे लिए स्लॉट इम्पोर्टेंट था कि 30 ओवर के बाद मैं बैटिंग करने जाता था, तो जो भी डिमांड्स थे उसके हिसाब से मुझे इम्प्रोवाइज करना पड़ता था. कभी होता था कि हम चेज कर रहे हैं और ज़्यादा स्कोर करना है तो बड़े शॉट खेलने पड़ते थे. कई बार जाके संभालना पड़ता था क्योंकि ज़्यादा विकेट गिर गए हैं. तो कभी ऐसा मैंने फिक्स्ड माइंडसेट के साथ अपना क्रिकेट जो बैटिंग है उसमें बहुत ज़्यादा rigid नहीं रहा हूँ.
Dhoni might not be the main architect of India's incredible turnaround in form down under, but he has to be given a lot of the credit. Incidentally, India's win versus the West Indies was India's 59th win in ODIs away from home. The 4-wicket triumph helped Dhoni break Sourav Ganguly's record to become the most successful Indian captain in away ODIs. A lot of the credit for the turnaround in the form of the Indian fast bowlers also has to be given to the skipper, who has always stood behind them.
Credit to MS Dhoni also for the kind of field sets he was giving to the bowlers, urging them to bowl wicket-taking deliveries.
He might have retired from tests, but he still performs 3 very important functions in ODIs: captain, batsman, wicket-keeper. And once again, MSD has shown why he is one of the modern-day greats.
He is unbelievable in so many ways.
All right, it's time now for us to get in Mr. Chappell and VVS Lakshman into the show. Gentlemen, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us once again here on NDTV. Mr. Chappell, to you first, sir. Would you say that MS Dhoni is the best captain when it comes to ODIs in world cricket right now?
I don't know about the best, but he's very good. And what amazes me is having seen him in the captain in the test matches earlier in the summer in Australia, and he was very lacklustre. But suddenly you put him in the spotlight and the glare of the World Cup, and it's like a different man in charge, and it's also been like a different team. He seems to enjoy captaincy in one-day cricket much more, or the short forms of the game, much more than Test cricket. And he certainly rejuvenated this Indian side. And I think that by him being so positive and suddenly much more aggressive with his captaincy, that's helped the bowlers as well. And the bowling unit now is, again, totally different from what they were in the Test matches against Australia.
Right, VVS, to you now. You, of course, told us earlier how you're very impressed with how MS Dhoni manages to soak up pressure and when he goes out to bat or when he's captaining under pressure situations. How much credit would you give Dhoni, just Dhoni himself, for the turnaround that we've seen in the form of Team India over a very short span of time?
Very, very important role MS Dhoni has played. Because if you see right from the first game, against Pakistan, you saw his body language, you saw how aggressive he was, how positive he was. And I'm sure he must have passed that message to each and every team member of the current Indian team in the World Cup, because they had a bad run coming into the World Cup. You know, they had a miserable test series, a terrible tri-series where they didn't even qualify for the finals. But he emphasized to them that it's a World Cup, it's a different tournament, and we are the defending champions. So let us think like a defending champion, let us behave like a defending champion and play like defending champions. What has happened in the past doesn't matter. Everything is new. And I think Ian Chappell used a lovely word, rejuvenated. I think he himself was rejuvenated, and he made sure that all the team members believed in themselves, believed in that their abilities, and especially the bowling department. How important a captain plays in the way the bowlers perform, MS Dhoni has showed them. The same bowling unit were looking apless in the tri-series, but suddenly with a change in the attitude from the captain, suddenly the bowling unit looks as one of the most fearsome bowling attacks in this competition. So I believe that MS Dhoni has a huge role in changing the approach of the entire Indian team.
Right, Mr. Chappell, picking up from that word that you used and which BVS emphasized upon once again, that word rejuvenated, how much of that would you say is because of the fact that Dhoni has retired from Test cricket now?
Yeah, I think it's probably an indication that all the tasks that he had, and it's enormous, the workload that he's had over the years, that it had worn him down. And I think in part that was responsible for his lacklustre form as a Test captain. But I think having got that off his shoulders, he does seem to be really involved, and as World Cup captain, I think, and defending champion, I think the pride is showing out in Dhoni, and I think one of the great things that he has going for him, one of the great attributes he has going for him, is that the team believes in him. And I think if you go back to that World Cup final of 2011, and the fact that he put himself up the order and he played a crucial innings in the final against Sri Lanka, I think that's the sort of thing that gets the team behind the captain and gets them believing in him and gets them wanting to do everything they possibly can for their captain. So I think, you know, India at the moment are riding this wave of confidence, and a lot of that confidence has stemmed from the attitude of the captain.
Right, Mr. Chappell, we will stay on with us. Now, since we are talking about MS Dhoni, the man at the post-match press conference after the win versus the West Indies spoke about how the overall performance of the team has been quite satisfying. But even he will know that there are still a few chinks in the armour. Now, one of those chinks is perhaps the form of Ravindra Jadeja with the bat.
India still needed 49 runs to win with 5 wickets in hand against the West Indies on Friday, when Ravindra Jadeja tried to pull a short ball from Andre Russell to pretty much throw away his wicket. It did impress many people, especially captain MS Dhoni.
I said he needs to improve. You know, he needs to step up really, because we have a lot of faith in him. But at the end of the day, you know, you can't really play with hope. You know, what you want is actually performance on the field. You know, he has that capability.
Jadeja has struggled for runs down under. He's managed just 23 in 5 matches this year, and just a solitary half-century in his last 9 ODIs.
Every batsman, you know, he's tested in a few areas. You know, they will bowl short pitch deliveries to him. He'll have to find a way in which he can tackle it, you know, because every batsman tackles it in a different way. So he'll have to find a way, you know, what he can really do.
Agreed that the Rajkot lad came to the World Cup not 100% fit, but at some point he will have to pay back the faith shown in him by MS Dhoni and the team management.
I'm still really disappointed with Jadeja. I expect a lot from Jadeja, the batsman. And Jadeja, I think, has to remember that he's there as an all-rounder. He's not only a capable spinner, or the team is expecting him to get runs because he's batting at an important position at number 7.